I made a mess. Maybe I should do this another day. If I don't do it now, it'll always be another day. Heck, let's go. Welcome back to the shed quarters. I'm Jeff, and if you saw the last video, you would have seen me make this. It's a lightweight mini engine. Actually, it came out of a moke, but it's been lightweighted. Now, the whole purpose of this has not been released yet, but there's still more to do. I mean, I do need to take a bit more weight out of this, but we're just going to move on with the project and I'll just do that behind the scenes. So, next up, we're going to do the head, the gearbox, and there's lots of other little bits and pieces that need to be, well, lightweighted as well. So, we're just going to leave this here. We're going to go get the cylinder head and we're going to start by pulling the studs out of it, and we're going to try putting it in a mill, but if that doesn't work, then we're going to go for the hole saws again, because they were quite effective. Really effective. That was violent. That should make an interesting thing on the coffee table. Now to do it another 16 times with varying size hole saws. Well, either that is the worst porting job ever, or I have a cunning plan. Now, after the mess that I made last time, that is a lot of mess. I'm not going to be grinding this apart in my shed. But in saying that, now is the time that we grind. Well, that's a start. I'll take this back in the shed and I'm going to try and get these two studs out using the old welded nut method. Even though I have kind of hacked everything else up, I really want these threads still in here, so this is rather annoying. Alright, on with something else. Let's pull this gearbox apart. So this gearbox, well, it's a bit locked up. It's rusted out and doesn't really move, so well, I've undone everything I can. I think it's time for some brute force and ignorance. Oh well. It's been nice knowing you, Gearbox. Cut them up. Told you it was going to be brute force and ignorance. But wait, there's more. Alright, I have made a huge mess of this gearbox. Now, it's missing a few things like all the mounts for all the gears, as well as the mount for the diff. Now, I still have it, it's around here somewhere, but I don't really need it for where we're going. Now, it does have a hole in the back. Now I will be plating that back in with a bit of 5mm alley, so that should be good. But before I do that, I want to actually get the all-wheel drive diff fitted in and see if I need to sculpt this in at all. But for now, it's pretty much exactly what I was after. So, on to the next bit. This is a speedo drive mechanism off the side of the gearbox, and well, we don't need it. So I've already put a hole saw through this piece, and now I just need to remove the rest of this aluminium that I don't need. As you can see, woodworking tools work really well on aluminium. Adjust the height some more and go for another run. Now, there's a few bolt holes through here that I don't really want to remove, so I've got to be very careful with how far down it goes, but you get the idea. So that's as far as the router could go. Now I'm onto the die grinder. This is a non-ferrous bit, especially for aluminium, and it just needs to be cleaned, sometimes with a bit of wax. Now I've left this little reinforcement bar in here because this little nub here is where one of the engine mounting bolts goes through, so I thought I might leave that. But this and this and this lump here, that's all where the bolts come through to plug these holes, so I'm best just leaving those for now. So that's this piece done. Let's add it to the assembly. But before we can assemble it, we need to clean up. Alright, so this is the clutch cover. Now I was considering cutting out all of this to save a bit more weight, but I also think I might just leave it in there as a bit of a baffle. So, haven't decided yet, don't need to do it right now. So what I'm going to do is just finish cleaning this up and then assembling all the parts that we've got so far and putting it into a subframe so we can start working out this all-wheel drive system. Yeah, I think I'm just going to leave that for now. Let's just assemble this and I'll get that sorted later. Alright, we've got all these pieces. Now, some of them haven't been customised yet and some of them need a little bit more, but we're ready to go on to the next stage of assembly. So, let's do that. Now there we have it. It looks like a complete engine, however, it only weighs about 22 kilos at this point. Now, there will be a bit more weight going in, but there's also a little bit more weight coming out still, so that's pretty good. Now I think the next step is to put this into a subframe. Now the reason for that is because that's what's next. Oops. That's for later. And there we go. I've got it all together. I've put a radiator in there just because I wanted to see how much space it took up, and I don't really have much space for anything in here. So now this is a stunt frame. It's not going to be used in the final build because it was in an accident and is quite tweaked. So I'm going to have to cut some sections out of the back here, and then once I've got the all-wheel drive diff into place, then I can start working out how to fill up that hole in the back of the casing. So I need to get a diff, and I just happen to have one sitting in my driveway. There's about 300 of my subscribers would actually know which vehicle I'm talking about, but I've had it for about 3 years now and it's time to get rid of it. So I'm going to strip out the all-wheel drive parts that I need and then put them into here. And if I can manage that, then things will be great. Now, yeah, I'd love to keep going, but I think that's all we've got time for in this video, so keep guessing as to what I'm actually doing here, and well, in the next video I will be explaining everything. So that's it for this video. As always, customize everything. Everything. But this is actually looking pretty sweet now.